Let's get to the money.
Let's get to the
Money.
Let's get to the
Money. Let's get to the motherfucking money.
Fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. FTV screaming fuck the bookies, 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 fuck the bookies. FTV screaming fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. Middle finger in the ass screaming fuck the bookies. Woke up in the morning, grab my little black book. Yesterday can eat a dick, cause we lost by the hook. Can't win them all, so you never see me get shook. Today's a new day, the bookmakers getting cooked. When I spot a dirty K of 4 units getting played, always find the value, I would never be afraid. Scary money don't win, but I'm not going all in unless I see a bet I love, then I put my balls on a bookie's chin. Let it all soak in, doubling my bread, winning money with my friends. If you got the itch and you wanna go big, follow Sharpie bets and you gon' really fucking win. This is not financial advice, it's entertainment. But if I find the right price, believe I'm parlaying it. You can see my spreadsheet, I'm winning, not just saying it. Profit in the green every week, I'm never negative. I can bet an ace or a shitty old picture. Pick the right spots cause I'm the K-Prop whisperer. Shut up when I speak until you finally get the picture. I'm the best in the world, tell me you getting richer. Fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. FTV screaming fuck the bookies, 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 fuck the bookies. FTV screaming fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. Middle finger in the air screaming fuck the bookies.
Let's get to the motherfucking monies.
Let's get to the motherfucking monies. Welcome back, guys, from the All-Star break, as this is the best MLB Prop Show on God's green earth. As normally on Fridays, we have Spin Doc with us, but he's still on vacation in the middle of the Pacific or the Atlantic on a fucking cruise, enjoying his time. He will be back next week. And I didn't ask no one else to join today because I actually got some people coming over today and I got some shit to do. So, yeah, if you didn't know, time is more valuable than money, fellas. And I had to learn that the hard way by doing 5 years off of robbing someone for $350. But we're here to talk some baseball props, guys. So let's get to it. On this show, we talked the opening lines of pitching props as well as the closing K-prop lines 30 minutes prior to the show going live. So do me a favor, if you like what you're hearing, smash that like button. If you're new to this channel, hit that subscribe button as well. First guy on the board is Aaron Nola at the Pirates. Took too big of a hit before the show, excuse me. Striking people out this year just 24.5% of the time, while walking people 5.5%. Morning line was 6.5 plus 118 on FanDuel. Best line available to that 6.5 is at plus 125 on MGM now. Pitching outs are at 18.5, minus 225 juice to the under, whereas earned runs are at a 2.5 juice to the under at minus 150 as well. Projected lineup is 5 lefties and 4 righties. Nola, guys, gets the Pirates for the first time this year. And their numbers heading into the All-Star break, guys, were actually one of the best team in baseball by the numbers, as they're not walking guys, but only striking out 20% of the time with a top 7 isolated power. As always, when we see numbers like this, we got to go see who have they seen. And this is what I like saying. This is why we got to go look for, guys, is they ain't seen a soul that I would bet a K-prop over on. As they seen the White Sox, who don't have a good right-handed pitcher. They missed Freddie Peralta in the Brewers series, missed Sonny Gray in the Cardinals series, and they seen the Mets. Where, yeah, they seen Scott, but it just was not a good matchup for his K-prop. He still went 5.2 innings, gave up 2 runs, and he only had 3 strikeouts, though. So all in all, guys, if we want in on Nola, we can get in. And when we look at this projected lineup of Pirates, guys, we have 6 guys with at least 6 at-bats versus Nola, upwards of 20, combining in 61 at-bats. And they're striking out 29% of the time. Now, to me, guys, that is a bit skewed and can get worse depending on how the Pirates run this lineup today. As Yasmani Grandal, in 10 at-bats versus Nola, has only struck out 1 time and is on the bench with this projected lineup. And if they do pull him for Bart, which they can do, we're now looking at a K percentage of 26.5%, which isn't bad, but it is a tad skewed, as the only guys Nola is striking out 25% or more of the time is Brian Reynolds, Cabrian Hayes, and Rowdy Tellez. And if Grandal is in, that means we got 4 guys who don't strike out to Nola 25% of the time. So it's kind of skewed. Like I said, just there's a few guys that are making this K percentage look a little higher than it is. And I do expect to see a Grandal in there, and that'll make it drop down. Now, if anything, guys, that'll keep me off the over, guys, because you should know my candy cane theory by now. And it plays in Nola's numbers, not just this year, but last year, as he's had a higher K percentage at home than on the road by at least 4%, and we have him on the road. Now, we also have a projected 5 lefties and could be 6 if we get Grandal for Bart. And just like his home road splits, guys, we got an issue when it comes to striking out lefties this year, as Nola's striking out lefties at just 21.5% compared to 27.5% from the right-handed side. Now, he was better versus right-handed batters last year, but the fall off versus lefty is way more drastic. As last year, guys, he was a decent 24.5% versus lefties. And we're halfway through the season, guys, and numbers are numbers. So let's just go check his changeup and see what's wrong with Nola and lefties. And I can't see it, guys. His changeup seems to be where it has been when we look at velocity, spin, and break. It's either better or right near where it was last year. The only difference I can see, guys, is just the whiff percentage, as no one's whiffing at that pitch. Just 15% compared to 31% last year, and just 3 strikeouts on 195 changeups this year. So even though these Pirates ain't seen no one, I don't think I want to fuck with Nolan today, guys, as he's on the road versus a lefty stack lineup, which don't favor his K prop. Now, the past history says you can get it, and I can't understand what the fuck is up with this changeup, guys, and why it isn't producing the numbers, as everything that I look at, everything that I seem to know to look at, says it should be producing the whiff that it has been in prior past. But like I said, we can't ignore these numbers now when we're more than halfway. We are 60% through the season, guys. This is the biggest All-Star break with the most games played in the history of baseball. We have 60% of the season already done going into today, and we've got to pay attention to it, guys. So I'm going to stay off Nola today, guys. If anything, if I had the nuts, I'd look to bet it under, but I'm not an under better. I like to bet my guys over unless it screams at me to bet them under. Garrett Cole, guys, gets the Rays, striking people out this year 25% of the time while walking people just 8.5%, as this is his 5th start this year. Open them up 6.5 minus 150 on FanDuel. Best line available is minus 156 on FanDuel to that 6.5. Pitching out 17.5 minus 200 juice to the under, whereas earn runs 1.5 minus 145 juice to the over. Projected lineup is 5 lefties and 4 righties. Garrett Cole, guys, gets the Rays in his 5th start of the year. And funny how 4 of his first 5 starts are in the division. Now he gets the Rays, who before the All-Star break were walking top 3 in the league, striking out 23.5% of the time with a bottom 2 isolated power. And when I check who they seen, guys, there's nobody to write home about, as the best person they seen was Eovaldi, who ain't been the same self he was last year. And he's a guy that I don't think I've talked one over versus this year. I don't think I've talked to Eovaldi this year. Maybe one time. He just ain't been that dude as he was last year. So what I'm getting at, guys, is they ain't seen nobody. And they're striking out 23.5%. And they ain't hit nothing. I mean, when I went through these to see who they were playing, whether it's bums or not, guys, they're going 5 to 6 innings and giving up 2 runs or less. And this ain't no bum, guys. This is GCZ, man. And he has a whole lot of past history in this projected lineup, as we have 7 guys in this projected lineup with at least 8 at-bats, upwards of 56, combining in 187 at-bats versus Cole. 187. Is that not telling you the Rays about to die today, fellas? Is that not just like in the numbers? But let's go talk a little more. 187 bats versus Cole, guys, and they're striking out at a nice 29.5% of the time. That's a whole lot of guys. And unlike Nola, we have 5 of these 7 guys who do strike out to Cole, with Arozarena 31% of the time being the lowest of the 5 that do strike out to this man. The question is can we bet Cole today? And I don't see why not. As when I look at this velo, spin, and break, it's near or better than on pretty much every pitch where it needs. His fastball's down about a half to 0.7, but where it was in his first game to where it's at now, it's literally been climbing up. He's almost at 96 miles per hour. The spin is there. The break is there. Everything is there on every pitch pretty much, or near where it should be. It's in the right direction of going, except the changeup. His changeup just looks disgusting. And so I go and look at it, guys, and Cole knows his changeup sucks too. As last year, he only threw it 7% of the time and only had 7 punch-outs on 233 pitches. Now he's down to 4%. And yeah, that doesn't bother me, guys. At first, I was like, okay, man, this freaking changeup's going to be. Then I looked to see how much he uses it and what pitches he actually uses to each side of the plate. And I was like, bro, this dude barely uses a fucking changeup. I don't care if his changeup is down and doesn't look the way it used to be. He didn't even use it that much last year, guys, and it wasn't his put-away pitch at that. So, at the end of the day, guys, I had to look to get in on him, guys. We have Cole at home, where if you watch this show, I'll be the first to say I think this man cheats, and it's in the numbers. Last year, his K percentage was 5% better at home than on the road, as well as the Rays projecting 5 less lefties, which last year he was only 1% better than the right-handed side, but through his career is 5% better when it comes to striking them out. So yeah, guys, I hate betting Yankees, period, because of Aaron Boone. But there is one Yankee I will bet and not take in the Boone effect, guys, and that's GCZ. As I did get in last night for a half unit, over 6.5 minus 150, as the whiff percentage to his pitches says 7+. The past history says 7+, and him being at home says, I gotta fucking get in, man. It is what it is till it ain't, and I had to, guys. Now he is coming back from injury, and at any given time this season, it'll be the end of his season, guys. There's not many guys who just go out and think they can skip a Tommy John and rehab it themselves and make it. It is eventually coming. This man is going to eventually need Tommy John, and that is the reason why I kept it at a half-unit bet. I bet 75 to win 50, and I got to take in, like, what if this man gets hurt? As it's going to happen, guys, this year. It's just destiny, guys. I mean, he should have had Tommy John. I mean, let's go through all the guys. Like Ohtani skipped it his first time and thought he could rehab it. Multiple guys, they try to do it the other way. It just doesn't work, bro. You're throwing 97 miles per hour over and over and over again. So it is what it is. Do me a favor, guys. If you like what you're hearing, smash that like button. If you're new to this channel, please hit that subscribe button as well. And now we got to talk Senor Jack Flaherty. Jack Flaherty at the Blue Jays, striking people out this year at a 32% clip while walking people just 4.5% of the time. Morning line was 5.5 minus 115 on MGM. The best line available to that 5.5 is minus 130 on FanDuel. And it's taking heat, guys. It's at minus 150 on some of the books now. Pitching out 17.5, minus 130 juice to the over. Earn runs 1.5, minus 150 juice to the over. Now 2.5 juice to the under. So the earned runs took a hit on the over, as that moved from a minus 151.5 and is now a 2.5 since morning to now. That's pretty much all that's fluctuated. Taking some money now on the K prop as I get it. Projected lineup is 5 lefties and 4 righties. Jack Flaherty, guys, gets the Jays for the second time this year, where the first time he just demolished them, going 6.1 innings, giving up 3 runs, and he had 9 punch-outs. Blue Jays don't strike out 9 times, guys, so Jack Flaherty is that dude. And when we look at the lineup's numbers from the last time he faced them, it didn't sure say run a K prop over, guys, as they were walking around league average, only striking out 20% of the time with a top 10 ISO. So let's just go see the numbers of this projected lineup coming into the All-Star break. And oof, they're not walking. They're now striking out 22%, so 2% worse than the last time they've seen them. And they had a bottom 10 ISO back on May 28th. They are now bottom 11 when it comes to isolated power. So yeah, guys, there is action if we go by what the book is talking about. And I'd say let's go look at past history, guys. But I'm going to say none of the past history means a damn thing unless it was this year. as he's changed a few things in his mechanics, guys, that have put this man in the stratosphere of one of the best pitchers in baseball. As his K percentage has jumped 6% versus lefties this year to his career numbers, and his elite 31.5% K percentage versus righties has gone up 2.5% this year. So, yeah, I'm going to say fuck past history, guys, as that ain't the Jack they're used to seeing. So yeah, guys, there is 3 different people in this projected lineup than the last time, but the ones who went down to Jack are in this lineup. Now, Flaherty did have a start skip before his last start due to his second back shot and has had the same time in between his last start as the one now that's coming off of the All-Star break. And that dude went out there and went a solid 6 innings, and we can expect this man to go 90 to 100 pitches. Granted, his back don't give out on him. Now, I'm sure, guys, it's telling me, guys, like, fuck, dude, the book's telling me to go over at the end of the day, and I'm just sitting there struggling because I have a key that I've used with Flaherty. I mean, I've only ran Flaherty, maybe 3-4 times at max this year, and when I see it, I've always used Chase. If you Chase versus this man who's in the top like 3 percentile of Chase contact, like you're not going to make contact. I don't care if your contact is Luis Arias. If you fucking Chase, you're in some trouble versus this man. And this lineup don't chase. There's only 2 guys that are league average or worse in this projected lineup. And the guys that he has dominated in past history, even though I say fuck the past history, he did dominate those guys again when he's seen them this year, that's the past history we need to turn around. And just off of that and what he's done to them in the past, he should have 3 versus freaking Springer and Varsho combined. Could he not fall into 3 more strikeouts? So at the end of the day, I get it if you're on the over. The book's telling me to go over. But the book's also telling me I could look to his outs over, and I think that's going to be the spot I look to play, as he went 6.1 innings versus a team that was top 10 in isolated power. Now he gets a bottom 11 team in isolated power. I think he goes out and replicates that quality start, 6+ innings, 3 earned runs, and at a minus 130 price right now on 17.5 outs. That may be the way I tend to attack Jack Flaherty today. Either which way, guys, the black book says that Flaherty should have a day. So I need to find a way to get in and back him. Now, this is a spot, guys, where I thought, ooh, maybe I'm going to get cute and get these books. And then I'm like, bro, I think I get what the books see. But then again, it's like battling back and forth. And do I just let it go and learn a lesson? Or do I go with the fucking books? Because you sure as fuck can't go against the books. I mean, they're a multi-billion-dollar corporation. And if there ever was a fucking titty play, I didn't even look to see. Guys. But everybody and their mom on Twitter is going to talk about this man today. And Tanner Bybee versus the Padres, guys. He's striking people out this year 28.5% of the time, walking people just 6% on the year, with a morning line of 4.5 minus 160 on FanDuel, and now everywhere it's at 5.5 plus 128. Pitching out 17.5 minus 185 juice to the under, whereas earned runs are at a 2.5 minus 175 juice to the under as well. Projected lineup is 5 righties, 4 lefties. And we get to talk Tanner Bybee and the Padres. Now, Bybee is the first kid we're going to talk, and I say kid meaning he has not been in the league a long time, meaning we do need to start watching how many innings they are at, as most teams let their guys go 30 innings past the last time they pitched. Year-wise, like how many have they added? Paul Skeens, guys? I don't think they let them go past August, guys, unless they start skipping starts and stuff. This is stuff that you got to pay attention to when you're betting on these youngsters, guys. How many innings have they thrown in their career? What was the max innings they threw? And add 30 onto that if it's within 2 years, guys. Now, if you had a Tommy John, you still got to you could add 30 onto it, but you've got to adjust. And for me personally, after a guy goes over his 30 innings most ever pitched, that's when I sit back and I'm like, okay, you've got to show me something now before I could look to bet on you guys, as there are such things as walls. These kids hit walls. And speaking of walls, guys, start to fucking fade Andrew Abbott. We wall blasted him last year, and it's already back with him, guys. As I said, we are at the longest into the season ever since the All-Star break. 60% of the games are already done, guys. Normally, 54 to 57%. This is the most in the history of baseball to where we're 60% of the games in coming into today. And there's certain kids, certain youngsters that are at their limits ever pitched or already past their limits. Now, I won't bring up limits again unless there's a limit to be worried about, but this is something you need to be checking up on if you're going to be betting K-props, which most of you tune in this show do. And it's that time of the year where we do got to pay attention. Now, guys, we have at least 35 innings with this man before we even need to start looking at Bybee guides. So that's late August into September. Now, we already know that these numbers are going to say no. It's the Padres. They are one of the no-fly zones this year, as these fucks just don't strike out, guys. As heading into the All-Star break, just 17% of their at-bats were they striking out. Yet they're not walking and not hitting. Now, Bybee versus the Padres is an interesting matchup when we look at the Padres as being one of the best zone contact teams and Bybee being one of the best zone pitchers. So what's going to play out, guys, as Bybee doesn't get people to chase. He's below average when it comes to making people make contact when they chase. He's below average when it makes people chase. Both categories that the Padres are elite in. So Bybee hasn't needed teams to chase or cared about teams with good chase contact. As when he is in the zone, guys, he is in the zone. As he is 6% better than league average at throwing strike one, 4% better than league average at pitching in the zone, and like I said, 7% better than league average at allowing zone contact. Now, it's going to be hard for me to pull a trigger, guys, on an over, even if I want to. As this man has hit the over 5.5, 9 of his last 10 games. And there was a 4.5 for a long time, granted super juiced. And the one loss, guys, being the Royals. When I see that, we need to pay attention to that one loss. What does that team have in common with the Padres? And the Royals, like the Padres, are both top 4 in zone contact and chase contact, with the Padres being higher than the Royals in both categories. So, guys, I see what the books are seeing, and I see what they're doing. Now, can I really go under when I wanted an over? And I don't know if I can, guys. As when I look at who takes first pitch, we have 6 guys who take, as well as 6 guys who don't swing in the zone, meaning that they take strikes. With 3 guys, 3 of the 9, that's 2/3 that swing in the zone and swing at first pitch, and those happen to be the same 3 guys. What I'm getting at, guys, is you don't want to go down the Bybee. 0-2, 1-2, 2-2. He is striking people out 41% to 55% of the time. Now, the fucking problem, guys, is the 6 guys who take are all elite in chase contact, with 5 being elite in zone contact. So if there is a tight ump, guys, I may have to go under. As when he gets to a 3-2 count, his K percentage drops to 32% and his walk percentage goes up to 26%. So it's like 2 things going against each other here. A team who is patient to a guy who throws strikes. And when he gets you to strike 2, guys, he's striking you out on average 39% of the time. And then a team, guys, who has 8 guys who are just elite at zone contact, with 7 guys who are elite in chase contact. So, yeah, guys, I may have to just let this be, as I do see a way to the over. Like, I really do. But then again, I think I'm just talking myself into it, and maybe I should just let it go. Now, what I will do if I do let it go is what I'm going to learn from this, guys, is a way to attack the Padres. Like, if Bybee goes out there and shoves like originally I thought, okay, cool. But then if not, then we found the key where he doesn't, where, okay, these zone contact, chase contact teams, those are the kryptonite to Bybee. Or is the kryptonite to the Padres guys who can throw in the zone, stay in the zone with elite zone contact. So I could see the under, I could see the over. Everybody and their mom on Twitter who follows these stupid projections are going to say over, 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 over. it's going to be hard for me to ever bet a over. I'll never, ever. I won't even say hard. I'll never bet a over where it's hit 9 out of 10 times. Like, that just ain't my cup of tea, guys. And that's what we're sitting at here. We've got this man who's had 6 or more strikeouts in 9 of his last 10 games. And I see the way to the over, yet I see the way to the under. And I think I'm just being too fucking cute. And when you're being too cute, you need to let shit go. Do me a favor, guys. If you like what you're hearing, smash that like button. If you're new to this channel, please hit that subscribe button as well. Hunter Brown at the Mariners, striking people out this year 25% of the time, while walking people 9% on the year. Morning line 7+ -138 on FanDuel. Best line available 7+ -145 on DK. Pitching out 17.5 -130 juice to the over. Earned runs 2.5 -150 juice to the under. Projected lineup is 6 righties, 3 lefties, but I expect 5 righties, 4 lefties when it's all said and done. Hunter Brown, guys, gets his second shot at the Mariners this year. And before the break, guys, we know what the Mariners are. They're the same team as last year. A team who whiffs and a team who can't make contact when they chase. As they were the worst team going into the break, striking out 32% of the time with a bottom 3 isolated power. I'd say let's go look at the projected lineup, but these cucks have Robles in for Rojas, and I expect to see Rojas, who in 9 at-bats has only struck out 1 time. Now, Robles and Rojas are one and the same. Good contact hitting guys. And as long as one is in, fuck them. Now, if they decide to put both in this lineup, I may end up eating my words a little bit, but I've got to go where the good is good, guys. And that's been Hunter Brown. And now he gets a shot versus the Mariners when he's right. Now, at first glance, guys, the outs over 17.5 at bettable juice scared the living piss out of me, as he has only gone 6 innings or longer in 10 straight games. Like, what else do you... Oh, my goodness. Sharpie, you just said you wouldn't bet this fucker over here. Oh, my God. Why, though, guys? That's what we got to get into, guys. Like I said, first glance scared the dog piss out of me, guys, because he has hit this in 10 straight games. Yet his K-prop adds up, as he's only hit it 5 out of his last 10. Add in the Seattle and the past history. We've got -145, -150 juice on what should be a pick'em if it wasn't the Mariners. And, guys, in 4 games, Hunter Brown has seen these Mariners in his career. He's only gone over 4.1 innings 1 time. That's why his fucking outs are at a bettable juice, guys. His last time on May 28th, where he went 6 innings and had 9 punch-outs. The other game, guys, was when Brown's velo was down at the beginning of this year. Oh, this is his 3rd time, my bad. 3rd time versus the Mariners. At the beginning of this year, his velo was down the first 6-7 games. His break was down. His spin was down. Who cares? Then he faced them at the end of last year, when the kid was tired. And then he got whooped on him another time, but he still had 8 strikeouts. So, yes, he's only gone over 4.1 innings 1 of his 4 times. He has hit this over strikeout 2 of the 4 times. And that's where I've got to look to get in, guys. Now, I did do a split unit bet. I took 1.15 units to win 1 unit on Brown. I put $80 on the 6.5 at a -148. There's -145s out there. 80 to win 54. And then I put 35 on the 8+ at +127 to win 45. As I've got Brown, guys, for 8 on a bad day. And if he goes 90+ pitches and does what I think he could do versus this lineup, with the past history of Crawford, who says his pitch mix that he shouldn't strike out, but he has struck out in 4 of his 7 at-bats. He has upwards to an 11 strikeout day, guys, as I've got him for 8 to 11. And for that reason, I'm getting in. Now, I just won't strictly pay -145 for Hunter Brown. They're like, well, bro, I'm -145, Sharpie. Yeah, fun. I split it up to get the juice down -1.15 for me personally, guys, is this guy is not a pitcher. Eventually, one day he will be a pitcher. Right now, he is a thrower. He is a hurler. When he gets himself into 3-2 counts, he tends to overthrow the ball, as he doesn't trust his stuff, as his stuff is plenty good to play in the MLB. You don't got to overthrow it, bud. Let your stuff do its job and just don't overthrow. One day he will be a pitcher, and I will pay the type of juice for that man. But in my eyes, if he gets 7, he gets 8. And like I said, I've got him for 8 to 11 on a bad day. So give me some Hunter Brown, please, and mother trucking, thank you. Now, the other 2 pitchers I was looking at today, as I don't think they're going to play in the St. Louis game, so I didn't even really want to break it down. Now I'll go recheck it back, as I did look at that last night. But last night it was showing like 80% rain, and I'm like, I'm not even going to break those dudes down and waste my time. Like, time is valuable. But if they're going to play, I will look to freaking attack with Gray versus Atlanta, as I do have the keys going through my book, looking at stuff. I found what works with him, and I can't wait. Can't wait to fucking play me some Sonny Gray. I just hope they push it off to tomorrow or that they get the game in. But either which way, if they play today, I will tweet out if and when or how I pull the trigger on Sonny Gray. Now, I was going to look at taking Castillo under, but with this projected lineup, they do have 6 righties, only 3 lefties. I'd like to see a couple more lefties out there if I was to bet an under, because, Castillo, has just struggled with versus lefties this year. I looked at Sean Manaea, and I'm like, I'm being stupid. That's a guy I don't bet on, so I just trashed him, guys. If I was to bet Sean Manaea today, I'd bet his outs. Sinker ball pitcher versus a Marlins team. I've seen this happen 3-4 times now in the last 30 days. Sinker ballers go 7+ innings versus this team. So if you're looking to back him, I think Manaea is a good look. He's just a guy I don't bet on. And I don't bet guys just strictly for the spot, guys. That's just not how I get down. You've got to be good enough for me to bet you, but I would look at Manaea's outs before his strikeouts today, as that's a very free-swinging team over there in Miami. Appreciate you guys all for tuning in, guys. This is the Balking Dead every Tuesday and Friday right here on the Odds Bunch. Next week, we will have Spin Doc back. He is on vacation, on a cruise somewhere, with his feet up, hopefully getting his Hawk to it on. You know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying?
Buy a boy a baseball, get him outside, get his hands dirty, take a little time. Give a boy a Bible, teach him how to pray. Thank the good Lord at the end of the day. Wake him up early, teach him how to work, spend his own money, show him what it's worth, yeah. He's gonna know it all, he'll slip and he'll fall, he'll pick himself up, amen. Yes sir, yes ma'am, show him how to be a man, so one of these days he can. Buy a girl flowers, take her to a show, treat her like a lady, and maybe down the road, you'll give a girl a diamond, put it on her hand, watch her and her mama, making all the plans, then get a little house on a little piece of land, build a little family, so maybe one of these days he can, yeah. Buy a boy a baseball, get him outside, get his hands dirty, take a little time, give a boy a Bible, teach him how to pray.